We begin the final hour of Fox and Friends with a Fox News alert. We are now in the fourth and final day of a temporary ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas, and we're learning that both sides have concerns over the list of Israeli hostages and Palestinian prisoners due to be released today.
14 more Israeli hostages were freed yesterday, bringing the total number now to over 40 in the last 3 days. Right now, 3 o'clock in the afternoon there in Israel, we have team coverage. Brian and Lawrence, as you can see, standing by at the wall with a look at some of the Palestinians being released. But first, we check with Trey Yingst live outside the Schneider Children's Medical Center in Israel. Trey.
Yeah, hey guys, good morning. I do want to start with this update. We understand there are some disagreements at this hour between Israel and Hamas about the final list that is supposed to be released tonight that will include more hostages if it moves forward being released from Gaza. The Qataris and the Egyptians working at this hour try to smooth out those disagreements and have this final day of the ceasefire move forward. It also comes amid reports they are trying to extend this pause in fighting to allow for more hostages to be released. Overnight for the third straight evening, though, 14 Israeli citizens released from Gaza as part of this broader ceasefire deal, along with 3 Thai nationals. 9 of those children brought here to the Schneider Children's Hospital just outside of Tel Aviv with 2 mothers. They're currently receiving treatment and are said to be in good condition. Among that group, though, Abigail Idan, that Israeli-American citizen, talked about so much, seen as a symbol of hope for both the Israeli and American people following that brutal massacre on October 7th. Tragically, both of her parents were killed. Just yesterday, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu speaking with President Biden about her case and others. Here in the lobby of the hospital earlier today, we spoke with one grandmother who was reunited for the first time with 3 of her grandchildren who were taken into Gaza on October 7th. Take a listen.
We hug them a lot, again and again and again. We cry a lot. We laugh a lot. It was like a circle that, like a wave, like a storm, you know, all the feelings flow up. It was amazing.
A mix of emotions for so many Israelis who are trying to really make sense of what took place. That mother lost her son, but was reunited with her grandchildren. It comes as Israeli officials are still trying to bring attention to what took place in early October. Today, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu meeting with Elon Musk at the border with Gaza. They visited the small community of Kfar Aza to see the aftermath of the massacre. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Trey.
All right, Trey, thanks so much. Meanwhile, let's take a look at who's been released now on the Palestinian side.
Yeah, so as more Palestinians are released in a swap, who exactly are some of these people, Brian?
We know roughly what they've done and who they are. Let's take a look at the numbers first to get a potential look at who's been out so far. We know the number's going to get up to 150. Currently, 117 are out.
Yeah, so, Brian, this all started back in 2011. Gilad Shalit, they say that there's 1,000 Palestinians for one Israeli life. So we set a precedent for it. So you got 39 prisoners that were released Friday, 39 Saturday, and 39 Sunday, bro.
Yeah, the Israeli said, here's a list of 300 that are eligible, and a number, I think 30 were women. Now, all the initial releases were Palestinian women who have been in prison. They say if you have Israeli blood on your hands, you're not eligible to get out. But here is some of what we can say about some of these prisoners.
Yeah, so some of them have been in jail for attempted stabbing, social media incitement, and supporting terrorism, Brian.
Right. The other thing would do, if you support Hamas, you're supporting terrorism, number one. Number two, the other thing you would say is they keep saying on other channels and on other websites, these people were imprisoned without sentences, without a trial for throwing rocks. Don't think so. Let's look at some of these people.
So let's look at it. It's a big difference from what we're seeing with the Israelis that are innocent. We got the first one, Mohammed Darwish, held in Israel jail for about 7 months, accused of throwing a petrol bomb at soldiers.
So it's not a rock.
Peaceful.
Right,
yeah.
That's a bomb. Yeah, so what about this woman, 23 years old? By the way, most of the men are in their teens.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. So it doesn't give you an optimistic view of what the next generation of Palestinians are going to be like. This convicted over a stabbing in Jerusalem, served 8 years in prison. So she is going to be out. I don't know if this is a reform opportunity or to get better at terrorism. What about her?
Yeah, so,
Mariah Bekir.
Yeah, so she was sentenced to 8.5 years for another attack with a knife at a border police as she was trying to cross. She was only 16 at the time. They call her a freedom fighter.
So a couple of things to also keep in mind is that when you are capturing a 9-month-old, when you are taking a 4-year-old, when you're taking an 80-year-old, how does it compare to this? These people have been convicted and caught in a court of law in Israel, in the West Bank for the most part, for committing crimes. And the way they get out on a 3-to-1 margin is for them to take innocent people who wanted to have brunch on October 7th. Instead, they're either dead, they're wounded, or captured.
Yeah, so Brian, part of the concern is, will these folks return to terror? This person was detained earlier this year on suspicion of throwing an incendiary device, was convicted in court, but we don't know all the details, but we know what they were capable of, Brian.
All right, so by the way, there could be more getting out today, and that's the whole thing. The list of, there's a problem with the list on both sides, but the list of 300 the Israelis have already handed out and said we'll be willing to let them out is this woman, Isra Jabis, 38 years old, obviously she's a burn victim, sentenced 11 years in prison for an attempted car bombing.
Yeah, the interesting
wanted
thing,
to be a suicide bomber.
The interesting thing about her, Brian, of course she lied. She said that there was something going on with her car. The battery was malfunctioning, but of course it was a bomb later on found in the car.
All right, so these are the types of people that are getting out. I don't know if prisons is a reform opportunity or if they've exercised that ability, but they are now out and about, and a lot of times they reoffend. Guys, back to you.
All right. Thanks, Brian. Thanks, Lawrence. Great job.
Today, Cyber Monday, is set to be a record-breaking day as millions of Americans look to get a head start on their Christmas shopping if they didn't already start the day after Thanksgiving.
And Jeff Locke has been tracking the trends, and he joins us with all the details. Hey, Jeff.
Good morning, Ainsley. Good morning, Steve. Yeah, remember the days when you had to wait for the store to open to spend your money? Well, now you can spend it 24 hours a day right here on the phone. Yeah, take a look at those numbers. Pretty crazy. $12 billion, they say, we're going to spend online today. That's an increase bigger than we thought, about 6%. That comes after what I would call a cyber Black Friday. That was last Friday when we spent $10 billion. That was an increase of 7.5%. Yeah, and then Thanksgiving, it all started on Thanksgiving Day when no stores were open at all. We spent $5 billion that day, also a big increase. And we talked to a retail analyst, Gene Marks, who tells us it has been an incredible holiday shopping season, but don't expect it to last.
It's been a great year in 2023. Consumers have been out there spending and traveling and making up for the years that they lost during COVID. But it's going to start catching up, and I see it start catching up.
And you remember Cyber Monday started because people would go back to work on Monday. They would have access to a computer, so they bought things online while they're at work. Well, now you can just buy it on your phone, and mobile phone cyber spending has gone up too, about 14%, $3.3 billion on this holiday. As to what we're buying, well, you might guess it's electronics. That's the number one thing. Clothes is number two. I can understand that. I like to try my clothes on, but toys and hobbies, and then beauty and health. That's what we're buying, and we're buying a whole lot of it. I guess we don't care that things cost a lot of money, and we're concerned about the economy and all that stuff. We're buying anyway. Guys.
We are indeed. So you're there at Plymouth meeting. When two of my kids went to Villanova, they would go to that mall that you're at right there. But, you know, when we saw Black Friday, and they're suggesting that today, Cyber Monday, could actually be bigger in sales than Black Friday. Remember in the old days, we used to send you out to a Walmart. There'd be a fist fight over a widescreen. Now people just buy it online.
Cabbage Patch dolls.
Right.
Yeah, Cabbage Patch dolls. Yeah, wasn't that great? I kind of miss those days. You know, I was out at the mall on Friday, and you know, everybody was calm. They were just walking through, having fun, dressed up like, you know, an elf or something.
Right.
Times have changed.
Yep, I'm willing to make a bid on a Walkman. I think they're on sale right now. Those, of course, cassette players.
I got 2 of them at home if you need one.
Fantastic.
I'll send you
I think
mine.
my parents have every old electronic in their garage.
Why
If you
throw
can
them
throw
away?
this away,
It's coming
we're
back.
never going to watch a beta.
Hey, vinyl came back.
Betamax.
Yes, Betamax.
It's like they just can't do it.
Right.
They have to hang on to it.
Jeff, thanks for breaking all
Thanks,
down
Jeff.
for us.
See you guys. Glad there's old people that remember like me.
Oh, Cabbage Patch, you left out Pet Rocks. Remember Pet Rocks?
Did y'all do much shopping? I did a lot of shopping.
I've done a lot too.
There were a lot of good deals this year. Normally, they are selfish when it comes to the clothes, but I saw a lot of 20% off. I saw a lot of 30% off, even some 50% off.
That's nice.
My wife and I went, I don't know what we were thinking. We actually went shopping on Black Friday. There was a mall adjacent to the hotel we were at. No, we went right when they were open. There were places where they were 60% off, and so deals were good. And here's the thing. The White House now, because Joe Biden is tanking in certain numbers, particularly with the economy, the White House is pushing back, and they're saying, hey, the economy's not that bad. Look at Black Friday. It was really, really good. But the number one topic where, we were out and about with Peter and his family down there, the number one topic people would talk to us about is just how much stuff costs. We're very concerned about world events, but the impact of bread and butter issues to the president, it's going to take its toll when you look at, groceries up 20%.
They don't want him talking about
as well.
They don't want him talking about Bidenomics anymore because of this, because groceries are up, electricity's up 24%. If you're listening on radio, gas is up 50% from where it was, and then plumbing and heating. This is what no one talks about. Your utility bills that you get at home.
100%.
And so no one talks about that. They just talk about gas in the car. Forget it. People look at it and they say, what happened?
Right.
They call the gas company. They go, no, that's the price now.
The problem, Ainsley, is that the White House keeps explaining to American people what the reality is.
Right.
Think about folks are traveling to the grocery store to try to prepare dinner for Thanksgiving. It's up 20%. Then you got the gas bill, traveling to see your loved one. That's up by 48%. Then you got a house full, and then the electricity is already up. And they're saying, well, that's not true. We know better.
Right. It can be very stressful, especially if you're a parent and you have 2 or 3 children. You're worried about saving enough to put them in college. Then you're also worried about now so many people are worried about just putting a little bit of gas in their car or putting food on the table. And there was a woman, she's from Pennsylvania, her name's Mackenzie Moan, and she's already received more than 1.5 million views because she posted this video on TikTok, and she was very emotional about how expensive it is to just live a normal life. She has a great job. She's a full-time nurse. Her husband has a great job, and it's still not enough. We can all relate to that, right? Listen.
I feel like my husband and I are doing everything right. We both have good jobs. I'm a nurse. I'm a registered nurse. I work full-time. He works full-time. We just got paid this past Friday, right? We paid the mortgage, bought some groceries, put some gas in the car. And guys, it is Tuesday, and we have like $200 or $300 to last us until next Friday.
Yes. And she's expressing the same thing people all across the country are talking about. I was at the grocery store yesterday. Pot roast is close to $10 a pound. So a 3-pound pot roast is $30. Not that long ago, it used to be $9, or $8 or $9, and it's so expensive. The guy next to me at the ShopRite in suburban New Jersey was talking about how now when he goes to the grocery store, he goes home with 2 bags of groceries, and it's $100. And it used to be 2 bags for $50. And so ultimately, they're not blaming anything, but a lot of people are blaming Joe Biden. It's like things were cheaper before things got so expensive.
Yeah, it's if you have a family member, you know what it feels like. These folks are working, and they're just short. They're just short because
it's all self-inflicted because of our policy when it comes to oil and gas. They want the windmills and solar panels to provide everything, and they're not there yet. And the windmills have been totally ineffective to this point, and they don't want to do nuclear, even though there's huge progress on these small nuclear power plants that have gone into state after state. But there's such a hard time with regulation with them. So we don't want to do anything to make people's lives better. We want to do things that seem to be agenda-driven. and people aren't into the agenda-driven
they're married
stuff.
to their ideology, and people expected, middle-class Joe to be a little bit of different on the policy. But folks are living paycheck to paycheck. We had Mackenzie on the program yesterday. This is what she had to say about that.
I'm just glad that my voice was unintentionally, empowering to people to speak out and say, me too, and, share that we're all in the same situation with the economy and the price of groceries and gas and just the struggle of middle-class America, where we're working our butts off and we feel like we have nothing to show for it. Prior to COVID, I was working as a correctional officer at one of the state prisons, and we did not struggle as much as we do now. And I make more than I did then now.
So your dollar doesn't go far.
No, it
doesn't go as far.
Ainsley, I spent some time with Sean for the holiday, Thanksgiving, because I had the show the next day. Hannity. So we're in the grocery store, and everyone's coming up to us saying, do you think something is going to change? They're looking at the grocery.
Sean said more people recognized you than they did him.
No, that's not true. That's not true. But they were so upset with the state of the country, and some of these people aren't like just strong Republicans. Yeah. These are independent voters. They live in New York City, and they're saying, like, do you think this election will be the election that turns this around?
Well, the thing about Mackenzie that is so potent and struck a chord with so many people is because she said, look, we make a good living. We have money to pay the gas and, the mortgage, and we can buy some groceries. But that's it. And now we're heading toward Christmas, and she's got kids. Where is the money for the gifts going to come from? And that's why, the White House has really got to get ahead of this, and they got to dig themselves out of this very deep hole, because while the White House and their economists say, the numbers are better, maybe that's true, but people don't feel.
I don't need to see a bar graph. I don't need to see a pie chart. The fact that Fox anchors have to shop together. Like later, I was told I have to shop with Brett Baer. Yeah. And we have to pick out groceries together. Who do you have to shop with, Ainsley? You're the Sandra Smith? You and Sandra Smith have to pool your money together in order to shop. That is the big story. Put that on TikTok.
But I'm so glad that Rachel interviewed her, and I'm so glad that she told her story, because it shouldn't be that way in America. If you're a registered nurse, I always thought nurses made a lot of money. Yeah. So, and that just shows you. It looked like they had 2 children in that picture that we were putting up. So if you pay for your kids, you have a full-time great job, your husband has a great full-time job, and it's still not enough to make ends meet. That should not happen in our country.
Because that's the American dream. I'm going to go out, I'm going to get a job, we're going to have a family, we're going to make some money, and now she's crying.
And everything's going up now. My sister's rent went up $300 a month. She's a school teacher. That's a lot of money that most school teachers can't afford.
But Bidenomics is working.